With all of the excitement surrounding GameStop and the GME Short Squeeze right now, investors may be missing other opportunities that could potentially just be getting started. Now, what are we talking about? Let's talk about AMC, the movie theater chain, in this video. We're going to discuss where the stock price was just yesterday, how it shot up 400% today, and whether or not this could be the start of something historic. Now, if that sounds like something you're interested in, let's get started. What's up, everybody? I'm Clay. I'm here to make 2021 the best year ever. We're going to grow our portfolios together, and we're just going to grow together. Now, if you like the content on this channel, please don't forget to click that like button, and if the subscribe button is still red, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and become a bro, and let's grow. Alright, now in this video, we're going to be talking about AMC Entertainment Holdings. The ticker symbol is AMC, and maybe you're not too familiar with what they do, but they're the theater chain that's across the United States, and they've been going through kind of the same thing that GameStop was going through. They've had a lot of institutional holdings and a lot of institutional investors shorting this stock and thinking that it's going to go lower and that this company wouldn't be able to survive the pandemic. Now, it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, right? Theaters were closed. There's going to be a lot of people in the near future that are going to be afraid to go back to theaters, or maybe they're just not willing to do so. Kind of like a shift in sentiment, and it makes sense in their minds. Let's short this stock now. Okay, so if you're not exactly sure what shorting a stock is, let's go over a little brief tutorial on that. Shorting a stock simply means that you think that stock is going to go lower over time, so you sell it now, and you plan on buying it back in the future for a cheaper price. So essentially, you're selling it high, and then you're going to buy it back at a lower price at a later date. Okay, now that we know a little bit about what shorting is, what happened here? So recently with GameStop, we've seen, and especially with WallStreetBets and this whole grassroots movement that started there, we're seeing retail investors kind of stick it to the man. We're seeing retail investors say, all right, that's enough with your institutional money and all of this. You're shorting this stock, yes. But what happens if we all band together and we buy the stock and kind of just knock you out? You're not going to be able to buy all the shares back. You're not going to be able to get out of your position. And you're kind of just going to be, out of luck and done for. Well, we've seen that with GameStop. GameStop was trading around $2 per share last year, and it's all the way up around $300 and some per share today. Now, AMC was trading around $5 per share yesterday, and it shot up 400% today to close around the $20 per share mark. And this stock was just trading around $2 per share, within the last month or two. And so we're seeing the same thing start with AMC. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there's been a lot of institutional shorting on this company because the institutional investors didn't think that AMC was going to be able to survive the pandemic, and they thought this business would fail. Well, retail investors have stepped in and they're saying, not so fast, not this time. They're buying the shares, and they're buying the shares with the intention to hold and squeeze out the institutional investors and watch the corporations lose money while the retail investor makes money. Now, why is this going to be a huge thing? Okay, we saw GameStop go to astronomical levels. Okay, if you would have told me a week ago that we would see GameStop trading at $300+ per share, I would have thought you're crazy. If you tell me today that GameStop's going to be above $1,000 per share, I'd still think you're crazy. But guess what can happen? GameStop could go to $10,000 per share if the demand is there and if the people want the price to go to $1,000 per share. So let's talk about what could happen with AMC, because this stock could potentially just be getting started. So we're seeing it's very similar to the situation that's happening with GameStop, and we've risen 400% or 300% today alone. We've seen the stock price 4x. It's gone from $5 per share to $20 per share. Now, if you pull the stock price out to its historical maximum, we can see that it was in the $30 to $40 range, is the highest this stock price has ever been. Well, guys, what is to stop this stock from going to $300, $400, $500 per share, exactly like GameStop did? Now, I know it's extremely hard to think, how is that possible? How could a stock potentially do that when nothing's going on with the revenue, when nothing's going on in the way of innovation? They haven't come out with anything new. Guys, the stock prices are determined by people who are willing to pay them. It's supply and demand at its finest. When people are willing to pay more for a stock price, that stock price goes up. When they're willing to pay less for a stock price, that stock price goes down. So if we see the same thing happen with AMC that happened with GameStop, there's no telling where this stock could go. It could go to $1,000 per share, $5,000 per share. There's nothing to stop it until the people say, all right, we've had enough. We wave the white flag, the institutions give in, the retail investors win. And really, from what I'm seeing and from what I'm reading, that's kind of the sentiment of the retail investor out there. They want to see the little guy win. They want to see the little guy succeed. And these institutional investors who are out there shorting stocks, they want to see him fall. I mean, that's essentially, at its core, what it is. It's a David and Goliath story, and we want to see the little guy succeed. Now, with this being said, yes, AMC could rocket up to $1,000 within the next week, but it could also fall back down. So how do we play this? Okay, if we don't already have it in our portfolios, what should we do? Should we enter this position? Now, the volatility is real, so we're going to see this stock moving up and down and up and down, and it's going to be moving fast, right? Now, I never want to recommend buying a falling share. And we do see that AMC is trading after hours right now, and it is pulling back a little bit. But that doesn't mean that it can't rocket up tomorrow, right? So if we're going to enter this position, if we're going to add AMC to our portfolios, we want to make sure if it doesn't open higher tomorrow, we want to make sure that it's rising when we do enter the position. Why? Because if the stock price is rising, it's likely to continue rising, and we're at least going to be able to get in during a point when we can be making some money right off the bat. Now, if we enter while the stock price is falling, it's likely to continue falling, and really with how speculative these plays are and how risky these trades are right now, we don't know how far a stock can fall or how far a stock can rise, right? Support and resistance levels are kind of out the door right now. It's just how much people are willing to buy and what price they're willing to buy it for. So if we're looking to enter this trade, if it pulls back tomorrow and it starts to open lower, we want to see the share price rising. If it opens higher, we want to see it continue to rise as we enter the trade. Now, with knowing that these stocks and these trades are going to be extremely speculative, make sure you protect your profits. Let's say you get in tomorrow and you get in around $22 per share, and all of a sudden you're sitting on $50, $60 per share, and you've more than doubled your money in a short amount of time. The last thing you want to do is give away this profit. Yes, there's always that fear of missing out. Like next week, this stock could be trading at $1,000 per share. But if you allow yourself to protect the profits, the stock comes back down, you get out with a gain, there's nothing to stop you from getting back in. I know everybody always wants to hold and say like, this was the stock that made me. I got into AMC, I got in at $20 per share, and I rode it all the way up to $2,000 per share. Now I can retire. Now I can buy a house or pay off my car. Whatever the story is, great. But give yourself the opportunity to trade another day if we see a pullback. Whether or not you use stop losses, whether you actively manage your trade, whatever it is you choose to do, please don't get caught up in all the hype to the point where you think that, your investment is invincible and that it can't go back down, because it absolutely can, and we need to protect ourselves. So guys, with this being said, I'm really excited about this opportunity. I want to see where AMC can go because I think it, has just as much, if not more potential than GameStop because of what we're seeing and how many people are getting on board. So if you already have AMC in your portfolio, let us know down in the comments below what price you got in at, if you plan on holding, if you think this is going to be just as big as GameStop, and really if the same thing can happen. We're excited. So we want to share in your excitement too. If you have and if you've experienced these gains on AMC, please let us know down below. And guys, if you like the content on this channel, don't forget to click that like button. If the subscribe button is still red, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, become a bro, and let's grow together. And if you want to share the video on StockTwits or somewhere else, make sure to tag me there as well, @ClayBro. And until the next time, I hope that all of you guys have an awesome day.